Here on Car Rant, we cover a lot of automotive news, and it seems that Honda has really escaped our radar until now. What's up, everybody? If you're new to the channel, my name is Nick Lanza. This is Car Rant, and yes, we do cover news stories, but we also go over builds and do reviews from time to time. So if that sounds like something interesting to you, you should stick around. Hit the subscribe button, ring that bell. That way you actually get notifications, because we all know how YouTube can be sometimes. Let's get on with it. Honda is a massive automotive brand that, honestly, you cannot escape from. Whether it be their motorcycles, their cars, or even some of their household appliances, yard equipment, and generators, Honda is pretty much everywhere. Well, unfortunately, they just got slapped with a very fat recall, and it's given me flashbacks to the Takata crisis of a few years back. While numbers continue to rise, Honda is recalling 750,000 Acura and Honda models because of faulty airbags. And while this is what initially got me going, man, Honda, y'all were doing so good, it reminded me of the Takata crisis, and it made me look a little bit further into Honda and what they've been up to. I mean, there's so much more going on, stuff with some motorsports deals and things like that, but one thing that stuck out to me the most was their partnership with GM. See, around this time last year, they actually went into business with GM to produce cheap electric cars. And unfortunately, that deal didn't pan out. Later the same year, in October, they canceled those plans to make EVs, which is probably for the better. I mean, as of now, EVs are getting a very, very bad reputation. People are citing cars bursting into flames while being on chargers, or at the extreme cost of trying to replace the batteries if one of the cells goes bad. It's starting to look like a sunset era might be coming up for the EVs. Of course, Honda reading the writing on the wall and also having some of their own proprietary technology to play with, decided to alter this deal that they had with GM, and now they're going to be making hydrogen fuel cell cars. Now, most people may not realize this, but Honda's actually had hydrogen cars for a very long time, since basically the 90s. Experimentation's been happening in California for a number of years where you have refill stations and things like that. But on the flip side with GM, there's actually been a motor developer who made a hydrogen-powered LS, which is part of the reason why we want to go LS with our pickup truck. You see, hydrogen is a very powerful little element, and in an engine format can create tons and tons of power while only having the output of water as the byproduct from it being processed in the motor. This in turn means that it is truly the cleanest of all fuel sources. You don't have to strip mine the Earth's surface for lithium or dig miles into the dirt to try and get oil. On top of this, you can get water from just about anywhere, whether it's your own well or water supply at home to a filling station, or maybe even the ocean someday, where they'll have desalination plants to pull the salt water and other materials out. All that said, the idea of these two, shall we say, engineering powerhouses coming together to create water-based cars is actually probably the best thing to happen right now. For me, it shows that companies are willing to still give internal combustion engines a shot, because functionally that is what is going to be used in these water-based engines. And it also shows that they're recognizing the environmental impact that lithium strip mining is really having on the planet. If you're not aware, we did do a whole episode about it, but Futureproof, another channel that we're big fans of, also did an episode. So I'll have a link to both of those down below if you want to see my thoughts and, of course, their thoughts. Of course, hydropower is not going to be the end-all be-all, but it is going to be the best step forward when it comes to propelling humanity into the future. In fact, more and more creators and people who are in the automotive space have experimented with just purely water-based engines. There's a steam-powered Jeep, for God's sakes. Getting into this subject after finding that rabbit hole of the airbag recall that led me to this has opened up my eyes to the reality that car guys, we're not out of the picture yet, because you could still have some form of forced induction even with a water-based engine. There's a gentleman out there who has a 650 horsepower truck, supercharged, LS motor, and it runs only on water. Like, there is still hope for guys like us who are really worried about the future landscape that is automotive enthusiasm. If anything, converting to water might just simply be the status quo from here on out. And it might mean that a few engines need to get modified in different ways. Here's hoping that 4G63 makes it, being a Mitsubishi fan myself. But it in turn means that we will still have all the things that we know and love and are familiar with and know how to work with at our disposal. So with that said, here's hoping that Honda and GM can pull off the miraculous and help normalize hydrogen cars. That way, the environmental impact that these EVs are really having on the world can finally be revealed, but more importantly, save the internal combustion engine from extinction and the automotive enthusiast from going the way of the dinosaurs. That said, what are your guys' thoughts about this whole idea of bringing back water-based cars? Do you think that steam power or hydrogen power is going to be the best way forward? Or do you think that this is going to be another passing fad and we're going to be stuck with these hybrid electric cars for the rest of our lives? Let me know down in the comment section. I, for one, am hopeful this will be our redemption arc. But let me know what you guys think. And without further ado, God bless you guys, and we'll see you on the next episode. Peace.